things first then, let's put the spotlight then on the company Disprz, which is a corporate learning and skilling platform. They've recently raised $30 million in a Series C funding led by Lumos Capital. Joining in right now, we have the management, Subbu Viswanathan, who's a co-founder and CEO. Thanks so much for taking time out. Walk us through who have been the investors that have participated in this fundraise round and what you'll be utilizing the funds towards.
Thank you. Firstly, thank you to ET for having us. The investors are a private equity fund based in the US called Lumos Capital. They are a private equity fund that invests in edtech and future of learning startups. That's the lead investor. The co-lead is another fund in India, part of the IIFL group called 360 ONE Asset. So these were the lead and the co-lead investors. And our current existing investors who backed us over the past few rounds, like K Capital, our seed investor, Cois, our Series A investor, Dallas Venture Capital, our Series B investor, have also participated in this round. And to your second question, what will the funds be used towards? It will be used towards our global expansion. We already have a good presence in emerging markets of India, Middle East, and Southeast Asia. We plan to go deeper in these markets, set up local country-specific teams in Saudi Arabia, in Philippines, in Indonesia, as well as expand our team in India. It will be used for product investments, particularly on generative AI. We have an exciting roadmap on bringing ChatGPT and other technologies to our learning and skilling suite. So those are the primary utilization of funds to go deeper in our markets. As well as to expand our product portfolio. Expanding into the US market, where we've already found early success. So that's the other use of funds.
You're a multi-product company and you have a suite of offerings. Can you tell us a little bit more about what really makes you stand out? Because this is a fairly competitive space.
It is a fairly competitive space in the lower end of the spectrum. So let me just explain. Our mission is to help the workforce of today be ready for the jobs of today and tomorrow. It's a very simple mission that we actually work on a day-to-day basis. Now, to actually fulfill this mission, what do you need? You need every company. When I say you, I mean every company. What does every company need? They need a learning management system. That's the entry level of our offering. Now, that space might appear to be crowded, but if you really dig deep, LMS companies that can actually cater to a wide audience, a frontline worker who does not have a laptop, who works in a deskless fashion, or a sophisticated knowledge worker, then there are only fewer companies. Now, that's, by the way, the enterprise LMS is our first entry-level product. We also have a learning experience platform that introduces companies to the concept of skills and democratizes learning and content availability for learning to a company on a broader basis. And then we have a very sophisticated capability academy, where companies that want to build a leadership academy or a digital academy or a frontline academy, which is skills-based, which is data-led, which is performance-based, can actually utilize our offering. So it is it's a multi-product suite, but the mission is very simple: to make the workforce better and upskilled for their day-to-day challenges. And if you look at the competitive landscape with this lens, there are not many companies that have a multi-generational suite like we do. There are not many companies that can appeal to the frontline worker as well as a knowledge worker like we do.
Okay, just tell us a little bit more then about what kind of financials you enjoy. What is your annual recurring revenue? Are you profitable currently?
We are on the way to profitability. We expect to get there in about 4 to 5 quarters. We are in our $10 to $100 million journey in ARR. We went past 10 million sometime back. So we hope to get to $100 million, and we hope to become a Centaur, which is a $100 million profitable company in the next 4 to 5 years. So that's where we are in the journey.
So how do you plan to achieve those milestones? What's the game plan?
The game plan is first, achieve a higher scale in the emerging markets that we operate in, where we already have a good presence. That's the 3 markets that I spoke about: India, Middle East, and Southeast Asia. The second big goal is to achieve a meaningful penetration in the US market, where we've already proven product market fit, and become profitable in 5 quarters. Then after that, our customer base and our sales engine should take care of itself and help us meet our remaining milestone and help us get to $100 million thereafter.
Tell us a little bit more as well about what exactly the company is looking to do in terms of integrating technology as well, because you are also looking at including generative AI across the learning and skilling cycle. Can you elaborate?
Yeah, I'll give you a couple of simple use cases. When it comes to the learning and skilling domain for companies, generative AI has a lot of applications because most of our AI, we are not new to AI, we are not new to large language models. But most of the AI that we actually use is in the area of natural language processing, and generative AI is at the core of natural language processing, right? So we stand to benefit a lot. I'll give you some simple examples. The first example is we can actually put content authoring capability in the hands of every employee. So expertise resides with every employee. So let's take a software company. Maybe there is a junior engineer out there who's actually perfected a particular method. Now with generative AI, we can actually give the power of content authoring to that particular user, and her expertise can now be seen by everybody in the company and perhaps everybody in the world. That's because through generative AI, you can actually generate high quality, interactive, meaningful content in a much faster way. So that's the first thing that we're going to do, which is to bring content authoring capability to not just the L&D manager, but to every employee, because true expertise resides with them. The second big use case is content search. There's a lot of learning content today out there. It's there in the employee, it's there in the enterprise application systems, including our learning management system. It resides on the internet in the form of free content. It resides in social media. What we are actually building is building a learning search engine that can actually crawl learning content and give you answers quicker. And the advantage here is that it can actually look at content inside the company in a more meaningful way and actually answer questions almost like a personal assistant, but it's an assistant for learning. Those are the two broad use cases we're looking at for generative AI. There are a lot more, but these two are what I would leave the audience with for today.
All right, and moving on, can you also walk us through your outlook on strategic partnerships and acquisitions? Has anything been anything in the works currently? Anything that you're finalizing?
Yeah, we are looking at different kinds of. We're looking at making at least one acquisition per year. That's the number that we've given ourselves. And the kind of companies that are interesting to us are companies that have built some sort of interesting IP in the learning and skilling space, who are obviously smaller than us. So where we acquire for product and IP, and for talent, of course. The second kind of companies that we're interested is also companies that have distribution strength in the markets that we operate in. They could be selling some other allied product in the markets of India, Middle East, Southeast Asia, or the US. And we are interested in acquiring such companies for distribution strength. So that's our M&A strategy for you. In addition to that, we are partnering with the broader ecosystem. We are partnering with HCM companies. We are partnering with content platforms. We are partnering with assessment platforms. We are partnering with reward platforms. So the entire ecosystem, anything that's got something to do with employee engagement, employee learning, or employee retention, there is a strong overlap with us. And that's our ecosystem for you. It also includes large consulting companies, like the big consulting companies of the world. We are partnering with all of them to ensure that our solutions reach the market globally.
All right, and finally, can you just take us through what the long-term game plan is in terms of your financial metrics and how you plan to grow the company?
Like I said, our aim is to become $100 million profitable company. It's called a centaur. We're not just chasing valuations. We want to be profitable and hit meaningful scale. And it's not about being a unicorn anymore, because valuation numbers, as we've learned over the last 18 months, can fluctuate quite a bit. Sometimes it's not entirely in our own hands. So in 4 or 5 years, becoming a centaur that's profitable with strong economics is our goal. And at that point, maybe listing is an option, either listing in India, or now there are other options to list as well. You can list in the gift city as per a recent notification. So these are the options that we're looking at.
Your time. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.